everybody.
Hi, guys. Well, from sweltering Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
Yes, you are, and I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up on this, the 399th episode
Woohoo!
of Thank God I'm Atheist.
Yeah, we're headed to
Next week, guys.
the big Ford double aught.
100. So you're going to want to tune in for that shit. It's going to be special.
It is gonna be
something
special.
in the works.
Yeah.
We have something in the works.
It won't be good, but it'll be different.
And also, you guys may have noticed this was, hopefully, you did not hear an ad.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to have heard an ad at the beginning of the show. And if everything worked,
That's right.
this is a no ad show. And this has to do with the campaign that we've been running on Patreon.
Right.
And we're at the goal level that we've hit. We're doing 1 out of 4 shows is ad free.
Yeah.
And as soon as we hit the next level, I mean, we are close, Dan.
We're really close.
We're within like 8 people.
Yeah.
Going to patreon.com/TGIAtheist or to our website if you can't remember that, thankgodimatheist.com, and clicking on the Patreon tab. It's over on the right-hand side.
and we
just need 8 people.
We're so close to that next goal. I mean, we need more than 8 people because our final goal is just to be completely listener supported, no ads ever.
Right. But when we get 8 more people, we're going to hit the next goal level, which means every other show will be ad-free.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're excited about it. Do yourself and your fellow listeners a favor if you can. If it's something you've been even considering doing, look, you just pause the show. You go to thankgodimatheist.com and click on the link on the right-hand side, or you go to patreon.com/TGIAtheist.
Uh-huh.
You sign up at whatever level you can afford. This isn't about you have to pay a lot of money. This is just,
it's why we structured it this way. We wanted everybody who participates to count equally toward us hitting this goal.
Right, because your ability to pay isn't what makes you special to us. Like your ability to pay
It's
more.
your support.
It's your support.
It's the fact that you showed up.
Right.
So anyway, we sure do appreciate. We appreciate all the help that we have been getting. We'll get to our new donors later on in the show.
Yes, indeed.
Also, Dan, tell us what we're talking about on the second half of the show. Why people should stick around.
We're going to be talking about you know how clergy get told shit that's horrible by the people who have done the horrible shit.
Oh yeah.
We're going to talk about the ethics of reporting / not reporting.
Ooh.
So, you and I being the ethics experts that we are.
I'm an ethistician.
Is
that something else?
That's where you take a priest who should have reported something and you just make his skin look amazing.
You give him a facial.
Because he's got that oily T-zone that we all try to avoid. So yeah, that's coming up at the end of the show. But first, Frank, what do you got? A thing?
I have a story about a Lebanese pop band.
Well, I mean, that feels like a weekly occurrence. We always have a Lebanese pop story at some point.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of all pop music. I guess this would be L-pop.
Tell that to the Latvians.
So dumb. You just derailed me with that. No, this band is known. Its name is Mashru Leila.
Okay.
And it's, according to this article, it's the best known pop band in Lebanon.
Sure.
They're huge. And this kind of surprised me. Their lead singer, Hamed Sino, is gay.
Oh, wow.
Right? They sing about themes like unemployment, political violence, religious extremism, homophobia, basically the issues that are affecting young people today.
Okay.
In Lebanon, right? And honestly, throughout the region, they're famous throughout the Arab world.
Sure.
But they got in a little bit of hot water recently.
Yeah.
They are scheduled to play at Byblos,
Okay.
which hosts a big music festival every year.
Yeah.
Byblos is famous for being the city that gave birth to the modern alphabet. It's 7,000 years old. They host this beautiful, supposedly place, whatever. And they do this Byblos International Festival, and they have this massive amphitheater, and the likes of Elton John, Jethro Tull, Lana Del Rey have played there recently.
Okay.
And it's like on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea, just fantastic, right?
Okay.
Well, Hamed Sino, he posted.
He's the Tyler Glenn of Lebanon.
That basically, yeah. He posted on Facebook it was an article. It was a link to an article. And in the article, it included an image of Madonna, like the pop star,
Sure.
Madonna, superimposed on the Virgin Mary.
On the Madonna.
On the Madonna.
Okay.
Very clever, right?
Sure.
I mean, it seems obvious.
Yeah, it's a bit on the nose. I think we've been there. We've been down that road, but okay.
But nonetheless, this got a lot of Lebanese Christians upset.
Yeah, Lebanon's an interesting one in that region because it's like it's a genuine mix of like there's a lot of Christians, a lot of Muslim, and it's actually pretty liberally minded for the region. Like they're fine with gay folk for the most part.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
I believe all of that is true.
Yeah. I learned that from my gay Lebanese friend.
Yeah. Fine with gay folk, that might be more of a social thing.
Yeah.
Because the article references some legal problems with the whole homosexuality thing. But one of the things that is interesting is that there are 18 state-sanctioned religions.
Right.
Constitutionally, right?
Yeah.
And this is one of those places in the world that if you offend a somebody's
sensibility,
religious sensitivities, that's a crime.
Yeah, you're gonna go to jail. So putting a pop star on the image of the Madonna, that's not okay.
That apparently not okay. But what's important here is, from my understanding of this whole thing, he's not the one who did it. He linked to an article where it was an image.
Oh my God.
Right? This is so fucking convoluted. It doesn't really go into what the article is about. Probably not, the kindest to Christians. Well, the Lebanese Christians are absolutely up in fucking arms. Here's an official with the political party of the current president of Lebanon. Michel Aoun is the president, I guess. But this Naji Hayek, whoever violates Christian sacraments must have his head broken.
Wow.
Hayek wrote.
Head broken.
Yeah. So they're calling on authorities to prosecute Mashru Leila for insulting a religion, inciting secularism, and for spreading and promoting homosexuality.
Don't spread that, for the love of God. Don't. It's like a cherry compote. You don't want to spread it too far.
But people are like, these laws are just terrible. I mean, I get in some way where they probably came from. You have this volatile situation. These historically the group, groups who historically did not really get along.
Right. Yeah.
And it could be where there could be sort of sectarian violence and whatnot. And so they made these laws. Well, you can't say things, even just saying something about such and such group or insulting that other group. You can't even do that.
Right.
Right. So you kind of you don't want to like throw these sparks out there.
Yeah.
But if you're out like they just are shitty laws.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's one of, like you say, when you live in a world of powder kegs, you kind of don't want anyone lighting matches.
Yeah.
But there is a freedom of speech issue that's like, come on, guys.
Well, first of all, can't everybody just fucking grow up?
Yeah.
Are you really that sensitive, right, in your belief system, right? That somebody says boo
Right.
on fucking Facebook.
Someone
Right.
says somebody else said boo, and then
Right.
and then they're like, off with his head, break his head.
Right.
It's crazy to me, and probably 99% of Lebanese people would have been like, that's not a big deal, leave him alone.
Right.
But if one person says that is a big deal, don't leave him alone,
Yeah.
everybody's got to get in their panties in a twist.
I mean, there is also apparently this song that everybody's also kind of upset about called Jinn, where they're saying that maybe he's crossing the line a little bit. But
about like the Islamic concept of a jinn, like like a genie sort of thing.
He's playing around apparently with like some double meaning stuff.
Sure.
There's also gin, like alcoholic drink.
Right, which is
So-
also not okay for the Islamic people.
Right.
So I just looked it up. Demographically,
Uh-huh.
the three main religions of Lebanon are, first, almost half are Islam, or Muslim. Then a very large swath of Christians.
Oh yeah.
And then like 5% are, any guesses?
Jehovah's Witness.
Druze.
Druze, what the fuck is that?
I don't know. I now have to go and do research about the Druze people.
Druze. Spell this.
Druze.
Exactly as it sounds.
Yeah.
Huh.
There you go.
All right.
Everybody who knew about the Druze people, you guys are one up on us.
Gold
So,
star.
Gold star for the day for you. Well, I'm going to take us to South Carolina, a place called Tega City, Tega K, or Tega K. I don't know what it is. CAY. Anyway, they have a police department there in old Tega K.
Ah. Yeah.
And they proudly got a new monument for out front of the police station there that says Tega K Police Department's got a nice little seal on it and whatever. It's a big rock. It's a giant boulder with stuff that's on it. Problematically, down at the bottom, on the front, it says Matthew 5:9.
Oh boy.
And on the back of that, that by the way is the bit of the Sermon on the Mount where Jesus says, "Blessed are the peacemakers."
Cool.
Get it? Because they're peacemakers.
Yeah, that's nice.
Because they're the police.
I love it.
No, you don't. You're not allowed to love it. You're an atheist activist. You're not allowed to like that. Anyway, on the back of it, there was what is known as what is it called? The police officer's prayer, which could not be stupider. But it says it says multiple times. It uses the word Lord.
Oh,
give me, Lord, concern for those who trust me, etc., etc. So some people raised some red flags about this, as they will do, probably our people. And then they the police department went to their attorney's office, or the mayor went to the attorney's office and was like, "Hey, we don't have to worry about this, do we?" And the attorneys were like, "Well, we could fight it, but it would probably cost us, $30,000 to $50,000, and we'd probably lose."
right.
So the solution needs to happen. The obvious solution would be to remove it.
No.
But they don't go with the obvious solution.
No, Dan. You don't remove it.
So they went to the back of the thing and scratched out the word Lord and painted out the word Lord. And on the front, they scratched out Matthew 5:9.
Oh, that's somehow worse.
Yeah.
I mean, even from their perspective, like believers, like sitting there, were they crying the whole time? Like,
I think,
dear Lord.
I think you hit on it. I think you saw something they didn't see would happen. Oh yeah, suddenly all the believers are making all kinds of hay out of this thing. So now you got state representatives outraged by this thing and turning it into a huge deal about,
Oh.
This one state representative, Bruce Bryant, said, "Law enforcement is a calling for men and women by God to protect the communities they serve. These principles of courage and faith are what this great state and nation were founded upon.
Yeah, no.
Nope, that's not.
That's just, no.
Yeah.
No.
So anyway, yes, they're making... now Ralph Norman, who's a Republican...
They might as well have written like a 666 across it.
Right?
Like, it would have gone over better.
If it had said the word Jesus, they just write the word fuck in front of it. Yeah, you guys made a really dumb choice. You made a dumb choice to put it there, and then you made a really dumb choice to deface your own monument.
Like, how did they scratch it out?
Yeah, kind of. And then
You
I
said
think
they painted it over.
it looks painted over, like because I mean,
white out. They got a big thing of white out.
well, stone out. You have to try and match, but I mean, it's like the color is so the rock itself is sort of rock gray, and they painted it and it looks kind of silvery. They did a very bad job.
They got a silver Sharpie out.
Yeah, it's awful and it's hilarious, and now they get to be getting hated on by both sides of the thing.
Oh God, I love it.
So there you go.
They need some backup.
Yeah.
They need some support.
You trying to make a cop joke?
Huh? No, but
Calling
sure.
for backup?
Yeah, I guess. All right.
Okay. What do you got?
I got another sectarian drama.
Oh.
This one, though, it's just totally fucking made up. Heading to India.
Uh-oh. Skun-tun-tun.
You will recall, Dan, a couple years ago, we probably talked about a story on the show about a nun in India that was in a lot of hot water because she was selling babies. Do you remember this story? Vaguely, maybe.
Maybe. I don't listen
not.
to this show, so I don't remember. I don't know if we talked about that or not.
Well, anyway, there's a nun that's in jail right now in India,
Okay.
waiting for her day in court.
A Catholic nun.
A Catholic nun.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I do remember that story.
A Catholic nun.
She has. She still hasn't gotten her day in court yet.
She still has not gotten her day in
Okay.
court, and this is what's really important here, Dan. Is this part I did not remember. She's a member of the Missionaries of Charity.
Right.
Mother Teresa's group.
Teresa's group. Right.
Right.
Yeah, no, I totally now it's all flooding back to
Right.
me.
But
She was basically stealing babies from their parents and then adopting them out to white families from overseas and stuff, right?
that kind of crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. This story doesn't go so much into detail about that side of it.
Sure.
What this story is about is the fact that the courts have rejected all requests for bail. They're like,
Okay.
you get to just sit there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Right. But
We'll see how you do with a real vow of poverty.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
just gonna
be
live.
used to cells.
It's the ascetic life. You should be thrilled.
Yeah. The Union of Catholic Asian News has published a report
Of which I'm a member, by the way.
that stated that that apparently church activists suspect, quote, political interference and sectarian hate behind the refusal of the state to grant bail to this nun. Right. And they're saying things like, a person is innocent until proven guilty. Why the nun continues to languish in prison is beyond one's reach of reason.
Oh.
The prejudice against Mother Teresa is deeply rooted in the minds of Hindu fanatics.
Oh.
The name of Mother Teresa is deliberately being dragged into the case to defame her name and the work of her nuns among the poor.
Well, first of all, she was a monster.
Yeah.
Now, her monstrousness isn't necessarily pertinent to this lady's monstrousness.
No, but-
they're entirely separate monsters.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But yet, does it surprise you that a monster would come out of that order?
No.
That somebody would have a completely perverse view of right and wrong and how to treat the poor.
Yeah.
And how to treat those who are, you know, I don't know. Where am I going? Those who are babies.
Yeah, exactly. those humans who suffer from the affliction of not yet being a person, of being little.
Yeah.
There you go.
Apparently, it's the number. I don't remember this number being this high. 280 children born at the Missionaries of Charity are essentially unaccounted for.
Wow. Man.
So yeah, you know, when you belong to an organization that's known for basically harboring criminals,
yeah,
right? Like when your organization is known for protecting pedophiles,
yeah, the largest sort of pedophile ring,
and you
in the
show
world.
up and you're on trial, you're accused of selling potentially 280 babies out of the arms of poor people
that we know about.
Fuck you.
Yeah, sit in jail, bitch.
Yeah.
We'll get to you when we get to you.
Holy shit.
There you go. I'm going to take us back here to these United States of America, where Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, we were talking earlier about the fact that I keep losing track of who's secretary of what anymore in this country because this fucking administration is like a sieve. People just keep falling out of it.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, Mike Pompeo is our current Secretary of State.
Won't be for long.
Who knows? Yeah, I mean, it depends on when they figure out what he's done. I don't know what it is, but he definitely did it, and he'll be in trouble for it soon. Anyway, here's what one of the things that he has done that's not illegal is that he announced a commission, a 10-member commission that was going to be a panel to decide which of the rights in these United States people have that are unalienable. If that word isn't meaningful to you and you live outside of these United States, you should know that our Constitution, or rather the Declaration of Independence, says that there are certain unalienable rights.
Among these,
life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Yes.
And then it says that, you know, and so that's sort of one of the founding ideas of America is that certain rights are, you can't escape them. Everybody's got them.
Yeah.
If you were born with a human anything,
they're human rights.
Right. Exactly.
That's the whole point. Right.
Well, not anymore. Human rights are not the point anymore.
What?
Because this group, this panel that Pompeo has convened, is charged with trying to define which rights are unalienable using a, quote, natural law framework.
Oh, boy.
Anybody in the class can tell me what natural law is a signal of?
The Bible.
Hating gays.
Oh, fuck.
Hating the gays, the trans, anyone that doesn't seem... And yes, it all goes back to the Bible. It all goes back to religion. But wait, here's a twist. A coalition of 430 human rights, civil rights, foreign policy, and faith organizations and leaders and scholars have submitted a letter urging him to not do this, to dismantle it.
All right. Okay.
So a lot of faith communities are like, no. This is not your version, your religious view of what are natural law rights.
Right.
That's not what we're talking about here. We're human rights experts. We're talking about human rights.
Right.
So we'll see how that plays out. Probably this will just be a good excuse. I mean, if it's anything like anything else in the Trump administration, if a whole huge group of people write a letter saying don't do this, that's basically digging your heels time. We're going to do it double now. We're taking away even more rights. So there will be challenges. There will be problems. But that's what's happening out there in the world. Even the religious are starting to go, You're going too far. Chances are it's not. It's not the ultra right wing evangelicals, but groups, faith-based organizations include the Presbyterian Church of the U.S., American Jewish World Service, the Anti-Defamation League,
Right.
the National Council of Churches. That sounds big. I don't know what it is. Muslims for Progressive Values. That's probably a really huge organization.
All 5 of them.
All 6 people. And Catholics for Choice, also a huge and very popular group. As well as secularist groups like American Atheists and
Oh, goodness
and the
gracious.
FUFRF.
Oh, well.
So there you go.
Oh, boy.
It is dark times indeed here in these United States, politically speaking.
That's a mess.
Yeah.
Absolute mess. All right. Well, Dan.
What?
A man in Tennessee on his deathbed
Okay.
asks his son. He says he has two wishes.
Okay.
Only 2 wishes. He wants to have
Is his son a genie? Okay, never mind. Go on.
He wants to have his son or his funeral service at Lee's Chapel Baptist Church.
Okay.
It was the first church he ever went to.
Sure.
Right? And he wants to have his son sing a Christian song called The Anchor Holds at his funeral.
Okay.
This is it. These are his 2 dying wishes.
Sure.
Well, and the man was aware of this. The son is gay.
Okay.
And Lee's Chapel Baptist Church is
Not a big fan of the gay people.
probably not the most progressive place on the planet.
Sure.
So they say to young Mr. Jesse Goodman, that's
Yeah.
the young gay man,
Yes.
who I read a couple different articles on this. Everybody had to mention that Jesse Goodman, a hairstylist. I don't know why that's pertinent. I mean,
it adds color.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that it makes the news that's about to drop, the fact that he's a gay man,
Right.
make a little more sense.
They're just softening the blow.
It's how he did it with his dad, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Dad, I'm a hairstylist. Oh, man.
I thought that was just for queers.
Well, I'm that too, Dad.
Here's part 2.
So anyway, the church says no.
Oh.
No. Your dad can have his funeral here,
But you can't sing?
but you can't sing,
You can't sing one of our songs?
and your boyfriend has to stay home.
Oh.
Can you fucking believe it?
Yeah, of course I can.
Fuckers, right?
Listen, you said Tennessee, right?
Tennessee.
Let me tell you something. You cannot surprise me with the depths to which a Christian person will sink to hate on gay people in Tennessee. You couldn't.
Oh my God.
But that is very funny. Like that's just such an easy okay, let him sing the song.
Let him sing the
He's
song.
singing a Christian song
Yeah.
in your if his dad's dying wish was like, you need to sing at the church and you need to sing Madonna's Like a Virgin.
And I want you to do your hair that way, that pretty
Yeah.
way when you do the drag.
Right. I hope that you're in lingerie and no. That's not what's happening here. All that's happening is a guy wants to sing a Christian song in a Christian church, and they're like, you're a little too gay for that.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
His father had not died by the time that he got the news back from Lee's Chapel Baptist Church. So he tells his dad, he goes, I'm only going to be able to fulfill one of these for you.
Oh.
And he's like, we're not having your funeral at that church. Which I think is pretty great.
That's the right choice.
And the dad was devastated, apparently, really sad. It was just, he just wanted to be there. But it sounds like he wanted his son to sing at the funeral more.
Yeah.
Right? And here's the really, truly amazing part of this whole thing, surprising part of it, is apparently the people of this town are pissed at this church now.
Nice.
Things like this are showing up online. The church has a Yelp page.
Sure.
I didn't know that was the thing.
Oh, we need to start going on a Yelp, church Yelps. Oh my God. Yes.
Shameful that this organization refuses to allow a man his last wish to have his funeral at their sanctuary just because his son is gay. A local wrote on the church's Yelp page. This is not a church that I would even consider visiting. What sort of Christians turn down family in their time of need? Another person says, "Oh, Jesse, this is so sad. I'm so sorry you have been mistreated or treated so poorly as Christians. We can't shame people into believing like us." This was on Goodman's Facebook page.
That is as unchristian a comment as I have ever heard.
It's terribly unfortunate that you have been made to feel less than at a time when every single one of them should have reached out to you in love.
Right? Isn't that the point? Isn't like the whole point that like when like wasn't Jesus's whole deal like, hey, someone's in pain, go help them?
Yeah. True Christians do not judge. That is God's place. Christians pray for their fellow man. Punishing a person on their last request before passing of where they are to be buried because of beliefs of this child is wrong. You pray for the person, not punish them. And then here's somebody else on Facebook. I may not agree with your lifestyle, but I will always love you. Regardless of his beliefs, your daddy loved you wholeheartedly, as he should have, and it seems sinful to me to punish him for being there for his son. Being there for his son.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I don't believe the first part of what you just said. Nobody says I don't believe, regardless of me disagreeing with your lifestyle, I still love you.
No, that's the cognitive dissonance that I think a lot of people, like these religious types, in a world that is changing around them, right? The big-hearted, old-timey Christian, old-time religion types, right? Like, I think these are people like the Tammy Faye Bakers of the world, right? Who their hearts were big, and they were like, well, I love you. I don't understand this.
I can't wrap my head around it. I still think it's wrong because the Bible says so. But
these are people who are working through it.
Yeah, they're trying. They're trying.
If I'm going to take this person at their word that when they say I love you, right?
Yeah, it's true. You're just not very good at loving. Like, you do love them, you just haven't. You're not very good at it.
Fair enough, but I honestly think that like there's a part of this discussion, right? There was actually a really good editorial in the Tribune this week, because something that we had talked about on the show a few weeks ago. This report that came out that showed that Utah had the second highest level of support for LGBT. Or laws that protect the LGBT community, right?
Sure, right.
That were like right behind Vermont or something like that. It's also like 72% of the state supports LGBT. Anyway, one of the editors at the Tribune had this editorial, and he was just talking about how the way that we've been having the conversation in Utah, right, about these issues, it's not that surprising that we would have such a high level of support, because we've been bringing the issue up, and our local gay community, it's large, but it's been about building bridges the entire time. It's been about, we're not coming after you, right?
We're not calling you evil.
We're just trying to secure some rights here, and there have been a lot of backroom conversations between people who do not agree with each other.
Is that code for something? Is that a euphemism?
But anyway, and so there's a thing, there's a process, right? And I just think that it's really important that we keep these conversations going and allow people to have their space in this. I don't approve, but I love you.
Yeah, sure.
Because the more they can love a gay person and a gay person and a gay person, that disapproval is going to have a harder time.
It's going to start to wither away.
And so I support them in every time they love a gay person, even if deep down they're just weirded out, they can't figure it out. Jesus tells them it's wrong. Sooner or later, they're going to have a pastor that's like,
maybe it's okay.
yeah.
And then suddenly,
And then they're just like, I'm off the hook.
Yeah.
I love these guys.
right.
Right.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. It's true. I shouldn't shame anyone for saying,
Yeah.
I love you, but it just feels a little backhanded.
It is backhanded, and there's a part of it that is hard on our side to go along with. But I'm trying to figure out how to allow people their space.
Right.
To be in that position, because if I think it's sincere, good enough.
Yeah, totally.
You're coming along.
And we're all...
Whether you know it or not, you've come a long way, because there was a time when they wouldn't have said that.
Absolutely. And we're all just monkeys trying to do our best on this damn planet. So we're all fucking it up.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. If you think you're woke as shit, the 2 generations from now, they're going to call you some terrible things and you're going to be shocked about it.
And you're not even going to understand it.
Yeah. It's
You're
going
to be like, you don't understand, people.
They're going to be like, how do you not see this? And you're going to be like, what are you talking about? And that's just how that goes.
I accept them for how they are. How dare you say you accept them?
How dare you? They don't need your acceptance.
I don't understand.
I don't know what's happening. Okay. There you go. You, Franklin Delano Feldman, love a poll. I know you do. Mm-hmm. Are you waiting for a gay joke to come out of that? No, I mean like a survey.
I know how your mind works.
A survey, a poll, a.
If I had come out and said that same line, but about myself, Dan, you would have either been fighting hard, or it just would have come slipping out.
I'm just saying it came to you just as fast as it would have come to me. Anyway, is what she said. Anyway, the Pew, the people at Pew.
I love them. God bless them.
The Pew Forum.
They just do.
I don't love them because so much of the time they do these religious polls and they word them so wrong.
Oh, I love them. Though.
Yeah, anyway.
They give us polls, Dan.
They do give us polls. And this one is a good one. They did one of these about 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago. And we even talked about it, I think.
10 years ago.
Not quite 10 years ago, but close enough. Anyway, they've done a new survey of people just sort of asking Americans general knowledge questions about religions.
Oh yeah, we did talk about
world
like
religions,
religion,
American religion, the sort of the landscape of American religion, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And the results are in. You will not be surprised to learn much of the results, including the fact that, for the most part, literacy of world religions and of sort of the American landscape. The Jews topped the list, and then atheists right behind them.
Oh,
for almost all of it.
Okay,
those are the demographics that know the most about religion in America. That actually doesn't surprise me at all. Jewish people tend to educate themselves very well on that sort of thing.
Right.
And then atheists are just listening to podcasts like ours all the time. So they know some stuff. Anyway, there were a few that were interesting. There was a few things that were interesting, including they would ask Bible literacy questions about the Bible. I think one of which I would have actually gotten wrong. Should I ask you a few of these questions and see how you do?
Ask me.
Okay. Which biblical figure is most closely associated with saving Jews from murder by appealing to the king? A, Ruth, B, Esther, C, Sarah, or D, Rebecca?
Rebecca.
It was Esther.
Was it Esther?
Yeah, that was the one I would have missed too.
Okay.
Let's see. Some of these you're just going to know, like, because it's just the kind of thing that atheists know. Like, what does the U.S. Constitution say about religion as it relates to federal office holders? A, no religious test should be necessary for holding office.
Ding ding.
B, they shall be sworn in using the Holy Bible.
No.
C, that they shall affirm all men are endowed by their Creator with unalienable rights. Or D, nothing.
A.
Yeah, that one's pretty easy. When does the Jewish Sabbath begin? A, Thursday. B, Friday. C, Saturday. D, Sunday.
Friday.
That's right. So anyway, like it's that kind of thing. These are the kinds of questions. What is the religion of most people in Indonesia?
Indonesia?
Yeah.
Islam.
That's right. That's right. How many Here's one that tripped people up a lot.
Okay.
How many adults in the U.S. are Muslim? A, less than 5%. B, about 1 in 10. C, about 1 in 4. Or D, half or more.
I think the 5% one.
It's so much less than 5%. Yeah. Absolutely. And, you know, it's interesting because a lot of people were confused by that. About a little under a third of Americans overestimated the size of the U.S. Jewish or Muslim population.
What is the Muslim one coming in at? Does it say?
I think, let's see, Jews make up about 2.2%.
Yeah, I knew that.
And Muslims about 1.1%.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have thought that they were more like around 3-ish.
I would have thought it was, no.
Really?
I would have put it at about 1.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
So there you go.
Fascinating. Boy,
Yeah.
and we're all, like, everybody's all lathered up about the Muslims.
Yeah, exactly. That 1% of our population. Yeah. I mean, that's still not nothing.
Oh, it's a big country. That's going to be a big number.
Yeah, it is.
But that's,
yeah.
Huh.
One of the things that they also did was a thermometer rating of how people felt about different members of different religions.
Okay.
They wanted to know, how do you feel cool? Do you feel cold toward certain religions, or do you feel warm about them?
Warm being you actually have warm feelings.
You have fondness for these people.
All right. Fair enough. Okay.
Coldness being obviously
chilly.
That you don't have fondness, or that you have antipathy or whatever.
Ask me.
Where do you think? I'll give you an intro. So Buddhists come in at 57%, sort of right in the middle.
As far as fondness
of the warmness meter,
room temperature.
They are room temperature. Okay. People are room temperature about the Buddhists. Hindus are right about the same thing.
Okay.
Mormons are a little lower at 51%.
Oh boy,
that's the low end. Where do you think Jews come in?
I hate to say, but they probably don't fare well. I don't know.
63. They are the highest. They are the warmest group.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently, if you hate Jews, you hate them real good.
But if you like Jews, you really like them.
Most Americans, they like the Jews.
Well, I mean,
isn't that great?
I don't mind Jews.
Yeah, I just think that that's a really interesting fact, because what you hear about Americans' attitudes towards Jews is that it is
about the best you're going to get for me about how I feel about religious groups is I don't mind them.
Yeah.
That's as good as it gets for me.
Well,
so Jews, I don't mind them.
Yeah.
Now Jewish people, just fine.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
Warm feelings.
Well, yes.
But because it's a religious group,
right,
one must also have negative feelings about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you're
to
us,
be consistent.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I will say this: atheists and Muslims are tied for the bottom of the barrel in terms of
chilly. How cold is it down there?
It's 49. Both of them have a mean thermometer rating of 49.
49 and Mormons are 51.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yep. Not.
We got
great.
a little bit of work to do, but I don't feel like the going from Mormon to atheist cost me that much.
No.
As far as like how much I'm liked in the world.
Yeah, indeed. I will say this. This is one of my favorite things. This is by far my favorite fact that came out in this report.
Yeah.
Which is that though among sort of all Americans, the mean rating for the mean thermometer rating for evangelical Christians, they're smack dab in the middle at 56. Smack dab in the middle. However, when you adjust it for people who are the more religiously knowledgeable, meaning people who did better on this total quiz,
Yeah.
they go down all the way.
No.
They drop down to 43.
No way.
They're the bottom of the barrel among people who are religiously educated.
Interesting.
Isn't that fascinating?
Well, yeah, because they're awful. Right?
They really are. They're like,
And here's one
it's the
where
ignorant masses.
I don't like the religion and the religious group. I don't like the people.
well, some of them are fine.
No, I don't like them.
But they don't. It's
Then
like,
I don't like them.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Let me tell you. You get a next door neighbor that's evangelical.
Oh,
You don't like
it's
that.
the worst. It's the worst.
Right?
Yeah.
I can come with a list of other groups that I'd be like,
so many of our
all right.
but so
You
many of
know?
our listeners live in the South, and they're like, all of my neighbors. I have to like somebody.
Where did the Sikhs come in? Are they on there?
Oh no, they didn't even make the list. Are you kidding me?
Did you? I saw in the Tribune this morning they had the whole rundown of the Days of 47 parade that was yesterday, for
Right.
when we recorded, and there was a Sikh float
There was there?
in the parade. This is people who don't know this. This is the parade that celebrates the arrival of Mormons into the Salt Lake Valley.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's all about like teams of horses and people dressed as pioneers and la-di-da, right?
Right.
There were Sikhs. They had a Sikh float, and I was just tickled to see that.
Oh, that is fun.
Because
I think
everybody needs to like the other groups in this city and in this state need to step up and remind all the Mormons that we all came here.
yeah.
Right? Unless you're Paiute, right?
Yeah, which I saw some figure, I don't know how accurate it was, a meme that was going around that said that when the Mormons discovered this place, there were like something like 200,000 Native Americans already living in this area.
Yeah.
And within a matter of less than a century, they were down to 2,000. Something like that.
Well, apparently, yeah, like the northern end of Utah County near the lake was I forget which tribe loved it, whether it was the Utes or
Bustling
the Paiutes.
metropolis.
But yeah, it was heavily populated.
There was, by the way, one question to do with Sikhism.
Oh.
The question on this thing was, in which religious tradition are men generally required to wear a turban in public and carry a ceremonial sword or small dagger?
Yeah, nice.
The answer is, of course, Sikhism. Only 42% of the people surveyed got that right. But 42% is not bad.
It's not bad considering how
for that.
dumb most Americans are.
I know, right? What's funny is there were questions like which best describes the Catholic teaching about the bread and wine for communion, and the answer is that they actually become the physical body of Christ and blood of Christ.
Yeah.
Among Catholics,
No.
about half got that one wrong.
That is like fundamental in Catholicism.
Yeah, it wasn't among the whole population.
Transubstantiation is what they call it. They have a word for it.
I know. Among the general population, 34% got it right. Only 34% got it right. But among Catholics, half got it wrong.
Oh, that's hysterical.
It's amazing.
All right.
All right.
Well, if you have any fun facts that you'd like to share about religion,
Yeah, you know, if you want to share any fun facts about anything at all, do you know anything about the Druze people?
we'd love to hear.
Write to us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can call and leave us a voicemail message. We'd
True.
love to have your voice on the show. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click on that like button.
And while you're on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge. Request to join. We will let you in.
Yep.
It's a closed group.
It might take a minute, by the way. Somebody recently got upset because it took a while before we got to them, but we've got a backlog. We work through it as quickly as we can.
Yeah.
You know.
It's a small team, people.
It's a small team. We all have other stuff to do. I'm very. I definitely don't pull my weight at all.
Oh, damn.
So it's just Amy and Danny. Just
well,
out
and
there trying-
I'm not on Facebook at all.
Yeah, because you pull zero weight. Anyway,
I try in other ways.
but do join it. A members only lounge. the TGIA Members Only Lounge there on Facebook. You'll be glad you did.
Hey, Dan.
Yes.
Jim Baker.
Jim Baker. I believe his middle name is Antamife, even though she's out of the picture now.
I know. Now it's that, what's her name, Laura or whatever?
Who cares what her name? Her. I think her name is.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
Right. But Jimbo always has some good stuff to say. He's got his finger on the pulse, is what I'd like to say about him.
He's got it all figured out. He knows exactly what's going to happen. In this country.
The man's a prophet. There's no doubt about it.
If things in this next presidential election don't go his way.
Let me tell you something. God talks directly to Jim Baker.
There is no way that even that man believes that statement.
No.
He is one of the most cynical, craven Christian preachers that I can easily identify.
Let's let him tell us though. Tell us how shitty you are, Jim.
Basically, everybody except 3 people that I know of said that Donald Trump could not be elected. They said all the polls say he will not be elected. How come he was elected? Because God's people voted. Right. And the world knows it.
That's right.
The enemies of the gospel know it. And I want to tell you what. I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say, but I'm going to say it anyhow.
Oh, boy.
Because what's coming next, if we keep losing, you're going to see the leaders of the church and the leaders of the gospel and the political conservative leaders that are powerful, you're going to see them suddenly die, suddenly killed, suddenly as they were driving, suddenly as they were in a boat, suddenly in an airplane. You're going to see one after. God spoke to me this years ago what would happen near the end. And I believe we're in that time. They're so desperate. This is life and death. This is the hatred of murder is in the country.
Okay, where do I sign up? I'm on board. Let's see. Let's watch this shit happen.
Yeah. Sometimes I guess it would be nice if one of these guys was right just once.
Every now and then, it would just be like
to see it.
I just want to see. Yeah, exactly.
Because that's some fucked up shit you're talking there, man.
The hatred of murder is in this country. What? I just want to know what that sentence construction felt like in his brain. It's pretty impressive stuff. Oh my God, they're gonna murder our people.
No,
that kind of goofball hyperbole.
But they believe on the ground. They believe it.
They believe it so hard, and it's just like. Have you not noticed that none of it comes true ever?
But I remember friends of my parents of my friends.
Yes, okay.
When I was a kid in Oklahoma, right? In rural Oklahoma. The nonsense I would hear. And I would just be I'd be creeped out by it, a little bothered by it.
Yeah.
And of course it didn't really fit into the whole Mormonism thing.
Yeah.
But Mormons have enough of their own end of times stuff.
Yeah.
That it was oh God, you're damned if you go this way and you're damned if you go that way. It's just.
I mean, for most of those people, you're just damned. If you don't believe what I believe, now I personally know the truth. Right. But the rest of y'all people are going to go to hell.
I know.
Faux show.
And be murdered. Blood in the streets.
Yes, indeed. Hey, we had some folks write into us. This is from Dawn, who says, "Hi, Frank and Dan. I love your podcast. Listen every week, and I've worked my way through most of your backlog."
Oh, God. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Apologies. My daughter and her husband have recently befriended a young ex-Mormon man. He's 23. His parents kicked him out of their house when he was 16 for watching lesbian porn. Oh, my God. If lesbian porn had been available when I was 16, would I have watched anything else? I don't know. Anyway... He was homeless for a while, but recently found someone who let him stay with them. They aren't very friendly, so he's been crashing with us off and on for a couple weeks. He's asked to stay with us, but we have 7 people living in our 4-bedroom house. My daughter, her husband, and their 4 kids, and myself. We would let him, but we really don't have the room. Are there any support systems in North Texas for young ex-Mormons in our area? I've tried to Google the information, but all I get is where to go to church.
Yeah.
I would really like help this kid get on his feet and get his life going.
Support groups. Wow. I think in that part of the world, it's going to have to be if it needs to be that specific, it's going to be an online community of some kind.
And it's not going to be ex-Mormons. I think
what you would end up finding.
Yeah,
in that area.
You could go to now North Texas. Isn't that where the fundamentalist Mormons ended up? He could just try a different kind of Mormons. Isn't that where Warren Jeffs and his tribe ended
I don't
up?
know.
So you could try that. Other than that, you know what I would do is reach out. This is just a guess because there's nothing like that. There's no ex-Mormon help network.
There's a strong community online.
Sure, there's a very strong community online, but they're not going to let you crash at their house.
Right.
And they may not, but surely there are services for people. Check with atheist communities in the area. Check with the local, you know what I mean? Because maybe they can find ways of helping out.
Yeah.
Including finding, jobs for people, helping
with a roommate,
find
a good pairing of a roommate situation might be good.
Could be really great. Right? And what you don't want is somebody who's going to preach at the guy or whatever. Maybe someone who's lesbian porn supportive, which I think we all should be. Anyway, yeah. So sorry, Dawn, we're not much help, but you know what I mean. Here's another thing. Reach out in the members only lounge because there's a lot of good people there who know of supportive places.
Yeah.
And if any of our listeners have any ideas for this, please feel free to write into us and help Dawn out.
Yeah.
All right, we've put it out there. Dear Frank and Dan, this is from Liam. Greetings from a cold, wintry South Africa. I've been enjoying your show for a few months now, but I'm always missing the last 30% of each show.
What?
Allow me to explain. I grew up in a strong Dutch Reformed Christian community. As a 6-year-old, I had to put on my suit and tie for 2 Sunday services, 1 hour each. Can't talk, can't move, sweat dripping down your collar, Dad throwing you the evil eye if you're getting fidgety. But the most torturous part of the service was the pipe organ. What a hideous, migraine-inducing, emotionally void instrument. And if the service happened to complete within the hour, the congregation would sit and listen to this musical lobotomizer being masterfully applied to remind us that maybe dying wasn't such a bad idea. So when you guys start the section of the show where you thank your patrons, the pipe organ in the background upsets me to the point that I simply stop the podcast right there, physically unable to continue with the show.
No!
I'm convinced I'm but one of many carrying emotional scars from childhood church that will take with us to the grave. Looking forward to listening to the first 2/3 of your next podcast. Listen, Liam. That's why you got the forward 30 seconds button on the old thing. What are you doing?
It doesn't go on forever.
Also,
click, 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 click,
on
click. And you're like,
on a fairly serious note.
yeah.
Okay, first of all, organ music can be beautiful. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah.
Organs are great. B, half of what the whole point of our show is. Not the whole point of our show, but one of the things that we love about this and other shows like it is that it's about exorcising those religious demons.
Yeah.
It's about letting go of those of these things that haunt us from our religious past, and being able to embrace the world even with religion in it and be okay.
Yeah, but is there trauma?
Yeah, okay.
I mean, just not too long ago, you were all kind of upset at me because I was like, creeped out by religious people.
Yeah, all I'm
Right?
saying is,
And it's like, no, there are things that come along with us.
Yeah.
They're hard to get through and work through. But I will say this: I agree with you. Skip forward, man.
yeah, and
Or perhaps we could announce the time code.
I'm not going to do a trigger warning for organ music. You don't need it. You're okay. It's fucking organ music. You're going to be fine.
This next segment of the show may
TW
include organ music.
may include.
If organ music is upsetting to you, you may want to skip ahead
Right.
about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is.
That's what. Yeah. That's you'll
Sometimes 4.
be okay. So hey, before I throw to you, I'm going to take over and say that we do have one non-Patreon donor.
Oh, yeah.
Who signed up? That's Spencer. He's a new faithful donor.
great.
Thank you so much, Spencer.
Thanks, Spencer.
And now you got some people that you need to thank.
I do have some people, Dan, some people on Patreon.
Great.
They've signed up. They went to our website, thankgodimatheist.com, clicked on the Patreon banner
On the right-hand
on
side
the
of the
right-hand
screen.
side. We have 5 new donors.
Okay.
This week.
Great.
We have 2 new faithful. These are people who are donating $1 an episode. Pamela and Nathan.
Great.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
We have 2 new venerable listeners. This is $2 an episode. Dinah and Cheryl.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. And then we have a new saint,
What?
Saint Jamie,
Saint Jamie.
giving $5 an episode. That's absolutely
Canonized
fantastic.
at $5 an episode.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes.
We give it away cheaply.
We really
Sainthood.
do. Sainthood.
Sainthood. That is a bargain.
Blessed be she. Amazing.
And then our top donor.
or he. I'm not sure what he or she. Anyway.
I don't know.
Blessed be Jamie.
Blessed be Jamie. And then, of course, we have to thank our top donor, our Lord and Savior, the great palindrome in the sky, Hannah!
Woo-hoo-hoo! We pray to thee, dear Hannah. You're an ass kicker, and we love you so much. Ladies and germs, if you would like to join the ranks of the beauty that is a donor to our show and help get these wicked ads off that you're not hearing on this episode, you can go to thankgodimatheist.com, click the support banner on the right-hand side, and then you get to join, and then you are one of the good people, and we will say your name and hail you as a prince among people.
Huzzah! Dan.
Oh my God! You know, so here's the deal. One of the stories that I read this week that I did not report on our show.
Yeah.
Was about a guy, a Mormon kid, did some really bad stuff.
Fucked up stuff.
Some fucked up stuff. Confessed to his bishop. Got sent home from his mission.
Why don't you kind of explain what he did?
Well, okay, so he found a website when he was a teenager. He found a website that was showing dirty pictures of children.
Yeah.
And apparently, in order to get onto this website, apparently to be part of the community, not a community you want to be a part of, but he decided he wanted to be, you have to participate. You have to give some pictures.
Yeah.
To see some pictures.
Right.
So he surreptitiously took some video of some kids ages 4 and 6, which is bad.
Yeah.
Which is unequivocally horrible.
Yeah.
And put it on. And then he actually took video of some other kids that were in his stepmom's daycare or something like that.
Oh, God.
Or his mom's in-home daycare. Anyway, yes, horrible, but nobody caught him yet. But when he went on his mission, he went on a Mormon mission.
Yeah, okay.
He confessed this to his bishop at the time,
Okay.
which is a thing that Mormons do, and was sent home from his mission and sat in front and was called to a tribunal, a
Right.
council or whatever it's called, to see what discipline the church would take.
Right.
Well, here's the discipline that the church didn't take. That none of the people, and this is, so now we've got multiple people aware of this kid's doings
Yeah.
who did not report it to any authority.
Yeah.
And in this state of Utah, they are not required to. There is a clergy. There are professional obligations to report child abuse, that sort of thing,
Right.
and elder abuse also. And that, if you're a teacher, if you're a social worker, that sort of thing, you're required to report these things.
Right.
Clergy has an exception.
Wow.
And I just wanted to talk a little bit about not that specific instance, but just the concept of the clergy exception, because it's a thing that goes back centuries. It started with the Catholic. The Catholics have this sort of sacrosanct idea of confession,
Well, right.
and the confessional being a sacred bond that the priest cannot reveal anything that he hears in the confessional.
Well, and it also has to do with their belief,
Right.
and this goes for almost all religious groups, that their authority is higher than the state authority.
Yeah.
And so how dare you, state, even suggest that you should be able to require us to tell you stuff so that you can go punish somebody. This person's coming to us for, absolution,
Right.
or whatever, right? Like, we're dealing with it.
Yeah, we got this.
Right.
You don't need to be a part of this. We got this. Here's the thing. I'm of actually two minds about this. Because on the first hand, it is many of these people are such horrific predators that keeping them on the streets is just always going to be putting more people in danger.
Right.
Now, I happen to believe that that's possibly not the case with this particular kid, because not only did he admit it to his bishop and to these other people in the church, he then went to the police himself and turned himself in to the
Right.
police. So it sounds to me like these are the acts of a genuinely penitent person who probably isn't a predator, who was probably he had teenage curiosities that got away from him or something
Right.
like that. I don't know that to be true.
Right.
That's just kind of where my instinct goes with that kid.
Right.
But fuck it. There's plenty of pedophiles, plenty of very dangerous people who have admitted things to clergy, and those clergymen, clergy people, have kept those people on the streets.
Right.
Have not reported them to authorities who could take them off the streets, and have tried to deal with it in house.
Well, I mean, if these were Catholic priests, they were probably like, tell me more.
Oh God. Oh, you went creepy. You went so creepy on me. God damn it. Okay. I'm gonna have to drink some bleach to wash that one out. Anyway, yeah.
Right.
Possibly.
Right.
Sure. That said, yeah, exactly. Half of the people that are confessing that to the priests are the other priests.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right. However, that said, I wonder also, though, and yes, the other horrific thing about it is that these people, these fucking priests, say you are absolved.
Yeah.
And then somebody walks out of that church feeling like they're okay now.
Right.
Feeling like they don't have to feel...
When they need a little bit of help.
They need a lot of help.
Right? Somebody's got to get in there and figure out what's going on.
Or they just need to be removed.
Or they need to be removed.
One or the other.
Well, they need to be removed.
They need to be removed.
There's... Anyway. But...
or at very least...
What you're getting at, though, Dan, is this idea that... And at least this is where I took it in my head, is there value, right, in having sort of a safe, a place that you can go and talk to somebody about these things and know that you're not going to get turned in? And is there some value there?
Exactly. And I wonder about that, because it does seem like, look, if predators know that no matter where they go, if they say it out loud, they're going to be turned in.
Right.
They're going to keep doing their predation things, no one's going to be able to help them
Right.
stop because they're never going to go to anybody.
Right.
They're either going to have to be caught by police or they're going to keep pursuing it. Whereas there is maybe the possibility, and I'm not an expert on any of this, but it strikes me that like people need a place to go. And, you know, we're talking about the worst of the worst, but, you know, there's plenty of, levels of antisocial behavior below, predatory pedophile.
That's still illegal.
That's still illegal, that may still need help.
And that may trigger your therapist to have to go and report you.
Right.
Or at least there's that question in your mind.
Right. So is there something positive about the ability to go to someone and say, I did this thing, or I continue to do this thing, and I need to talk about it, because we know that even just talking through with another human being can work wonders.
Right, but then, so let's say this is the place that like doesn't turn you in.
Yeah.
And you just found out about something horrifying. Like, how do you not do something with that?
Well,
like, if you were a person, because here's the deal.
Yeah.
I get the whole screwball thing that's happening with these religions. It's the fact that they think, again, going back to, they think their authority is higher. Right? They think that what they've just done is of greater value than pulling this person off the street.
Right.
Right. But somebody comes to you, tells you this horrible thing that they've done.
Right.
Right. To a child, perhaps.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna, like, the deal is you get to sit on that information.
It's tough.
Here's
what I can categorically say. It shouldn't be clergy.
Well, right, because if this deal exists, I don't want to go to clergy if I had something screwed up.
No, and also, as we've discussed, clergy can be fucked up people themselves, and also, if the point of it is to offer safe haven for a person to get a little bit of help, there needs to be someone with therapeutic training. There needs to be someone who knows what the fuck they're talking about. If they're, if someone's going to come in and talk to them, I want that person to know so much that maybe they can guide them a little bit and give them some actual help.
How about this? If you come forward to this to this hotline or to this whatever, right? And whatever the whole process is, and you admit your thing, we're going to get you help. And we may have to institutionalize you for a second, essentially, right? You may have to be locked up in a facility,
right?
But the facility is about getting you help.
Wouldn't it be
great? We didn't catch you,
right? And
so we're not going to throw you in prison. But if you come forward, you get a safe place. You get a place that where you're going to be taken care of, and those demons that have been following you, we're going to help you through it.
I love that. I love the idea of an alternative track,
right?
Where it's not about,
because essentially you opted in.
Right.
And you admitted to it.
Right. And you have to admit fully to it, or you have to,
and the criminal justice system has been alerted.
Right.
But they can't come after you at this point as long as you successfully finish this thing.
And
I don't know what else.
And maybe the doctors don't sign off on you, and then you do have to go to prison or whatever.
Maybe, I don't know.
But
that seems a little weird.
But I do love the idea of a separate track that is not the penal system.
Well, yeah, because the penal system isn't going to.
There's no actual reform that happens in the penal system. There's no help in the penal
essentially
system.
All we're saying is what a lot of people are saying about the criminal justice system, which is it needs a lot of reform.
Yeah.
And X, Y, and Z. I mean, I don't know, Dan.
Your
question, though, earlier was an intriguing one. But boy, howdy, the clergy should not in any way, shape, or form have this exemption.
Yeah, it definitely should not be the clergy.
Disgusting.
Especially, look,
and this
Catholic clergy is one thing.
Yeah.
Mormon clergy, untrained, nothing. They got
Not a clue.
They don't even have any theological training,
Yeah.
let alone any sort of psychological training.
The fact
That
that
is
they would have
just
any exemption.
Joe Schmo from the ward. No way should that person have any exemption.
No. You got some degree and some training and whatnot to back you up. I don't agree with it, but okay.
But maybe.
Maybe.
But
it's still bad. It's still bad. I still don't like it.
Hell no with Mormon clergy.
It's just the worst.
Mormons shouldn't even be allowed to call anyone in their group clergy.
Well, yeah.
There's no one in Mormonism that's actual clergy.
Right.
That doesn't exist.
Right.
Oh
They
my
call
God.
it the lay clergy.
Yeah. You should call it the lame clergy. All right. Well, listen, I'm sure that some of you have something that you need to tell me about that because you and I, Frank, have no expertise in this subject whatsoever.
That was just some...
So write into us, please. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this. Podcast at thankgodimatheist.com.
Or call and leave us a voicemail message.
Yeah.
The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah. Hey, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click on that like button.
And while you're there, click on or search for TGIA Members Only Lounge requested to join.
Yep. Speaking of Facebook and all of the various and sundry things that are there, thanks so much to Mackenzie for all of your hard work on the Facebook page. Thanks to Amy and Danny for your work as moderators in the Members Only Lounge.
And a big thanks goes out to the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of their music, and to also Gordon Johnston for the use of his music.
Yes, and thank all of you for tuning in.
Bye-bye.